My name is Andreas Verandi, and we work with ADB SAFEGATE, which is the leading supplier of airport information or airport systems in the world when it comes to light fixtures, control systems, power solutions, these kinds of things. We have a lot of competition out there in the world, so we need to stay competitive.
I am Adriana Petrescu. I am Business Technology Manager, ensuring that the business needs are translated into IT terms. I'm responsible for all the business applications of the group.
And I'm the Director of Product Management Enablement, which means that I'm really taking the product manager's point of view, but also other parts of the organization's point of view to define the business requirements. And then we work together with IT to make things happen as well. ADB SAFEGATE is around 1,200 employees. We have 38 offices around the world, with more than 50 nationalities. It is a completely distributed company. About half of those people are in production sites. So we have 3 main production sites, one in Tianjin, one in Columbus, and one in Zaventem outside of Brussels. But our headquarters is located in Brussels, but it's also a couple of key sites around the world, which is focusing on some of the business lines, business units, and some areas. What we do is we work a lot with our customers to design solutions to increase their efficiency. So it's all about getting the air traffic to work flow. So we normally say we have an offering that goes from approach to departure of the airplane. So from the touchdown to the departure again. Everything that touches airplanes on the air side. So not so much in the terminal fluid. We don't deal very much with passengers or things like that, not security or those pieces. In the world today, pre-COVID, perhaps we should start to say, because obviously COVID had an immense impact on the airline industry around the world. So pre-COVID, we saw basically a doubling of air traffic every 15 years since the 1970s. So it's a huge increase. There was not a lot of real estate. If we look at Heathrow, for example, they're not allowed to build a third runway because there's so many housing around and environmental concerns. They were running at 97% capacity in good weather, so they didn't have much room to expand. So they needed to look into more efficient systems, moving the aircraft more efficiently, and really look into how can we make better use of the real estate that we have. And that's where we come in. So it's not just about light fixtures, it's how we used light fixtures. So we could connect the light fixtures with radar, for example, and we can just light up the light fixtures in front of the aircraft, guiding each aircraft individually, which means that we can stack the aircraft closer, we maintain security, even in bad weather. So bad weather, which they do have in Heathrow, lots of rains and fog and stuff like that. We can mitigate those effects as well to maintain the throughput during those situations. So that's basically what we're doing on a broad basis. Touching a lot of stuff. We have air traffic control solutions. So for the systems after the air traffic controller, we have docking system that guides the aircraft into the parking lots as well. Weather systems to monitor the weather and to identify what we need to change things. So quite a lot, more than you would imagine when you go on an airplane. There's a lot of equipment out there to maintain security and safety and efficiency. I think it really started back in 2016, even though we're ADB SAFEGATE and we're really one company, but back in 2016, ADB and SAFEGATE, the 2 biggest competitors on the market, merged. We were each around 200 people. We were working with products. There were still production people as well, but around 200 people. So it was a size where it worked. People knew who to contact, they knew where to find the information, and suddenly we went from that overnight to a company of 500 people who didn't know where the other people kept their stuff, isolated IT environments. It was a mess for quite a while. We also had different ERP systems that didn't speak to each other. So there was a lot of projects ongoing for us to merge to one ERP system. But then we started looking into how can we make it safer and have better control over all the product information and harmonize everything. So this started actually with developing a harmonized product taxonomy across the board for all the different companies in the group. And then we went to a PIM to try to harmonize all the product information, connect it with ERP system as well. Well, 2 of the ERP systems, because we're not yet on just one ERP system. And get everything working, getting out there on the website, making sure the sales could go into the system, find the latest information and remove all that uncertainty. So that was the main drivers, to be honest.
We did the phase selection. First, we looked at the different PIM products, and then we move after choosing the best one, which has the best features for us. Inriver, we proceeded to the next steps to select the implementation partner. And that was also a very tough decision, and in the end we got the best for us.
Yeah, and we selected Knowit as an implementation partner. They've been very, very good with us and really understand our needs as well. So it's been a pleasure working with them. We started out because we are owned by private equity, by the Carlyle Group. So we actually reached out to the Carlyle Group and heard what kind of PIMs are available in the group, what are other people's experience. So we started out by interviewing a couple of the other companies in the group as well. So I think one of the biggest things for us is the flexible data model, because the product taxonomy, which we're quite proud of, is actually a little bit unique in the terms that it's merging almost all needs from all the departments in the organization. So from top level financial reporting is in there, but it's also handling how we show things on the website. It is used by operations to slice and dice and plan for what components are going to be used and negotiate contracts with our suppliers. It's used by the product managers to evaluate their portfolios and look at trends. It is also used by the R&D department to structure the development when they work with technology platforms. So for now, still for about 5 years, it's been solid and it's working very, very well. But that also means that there are so many different needs and views and inputs and dependencies. So we really needed a flexible data model to do that. So it's part hierarchy and part taxonomy where you tag things with metadata. And that really worked well. It was very easy to set it up with Inriver. So it was so easy to get going, to be honest. But it also helped that we had a good structure to begin with. So our implementation was on time, on budget, and according to specification. Part of that is obviously because we had a good specification to start with, but also due to the fact that Adriana kept us all in line as a project manager for it, but also Knowit delivering and understanding what we needed to do. So those are probably the main drivers. The other things is that it was a quite good license model as well from our point of view. We don't do e-commerce today. It's something that we might be looking into in the near future for spare parts, but we are a B2B business. So that licensing model where you basically get charged per number of channels was very beneficial for us. We needed to have a large number of people in, so a lot of other companies charge per user, whereas here it was more about the reach of the system as well. So it was a driving part as well.
What is also very good is the fact that we can stop using one module and try another one. For example, we wanted to stop the content store because we saw that it didn't get a lot of traction despite our change management activities. So now we are going to try the artificial intelligence with with our marketing team. So we really like this flexibility. So we are not stuck for 20 years or to give you 5 years notice before we want to change. You are agile, and we also need an agile partner.
For sure. Some of the shortcomings, if we would like to say that, is our sales were really frustrated. They had a couple of things that they couldn't really utilize. They could find the information and they were very happy about that. So it was a huge leap forward, but they were missing the function to be able to open up a PDF directly from the PIM. So they always had to download it first before opening it up. They also were missing the function to be able to bulk download. And that's where we tried out the content store, but they didn't really get into it, and it was a little bit of a hill for them to climb. So what we decided to do now is to implement an integration with SharePoint. So the PIM is maintaining a SharePoint library where they can slice and dice all the metadata. Everything goes into SharePoint library on our intranet where they're normally, and they're used to the tools. So it's very easy for them to start using that and do bulk download for quotations and tenders and stuff like that as well. So that has been very successful. I mean, the fact that it is so easy to use, it's very easy to put something quickly on the website, whereas in the past we had to go through a lot of steps and make sure that everything was in place. the PIM gives an amazing overview, and if we need to tweak something, it's very easy and quick to do that in the PIM as well. So the marketing team is much more active in terms of making smaller changes, adjustments, and these kinds of things on the website as well, on our product center. So that is a fantastic benefit. We had an exhibition, our biggest business exhibition. It's every second year in Munich, which is called Inriver. And we did a product launch. So we had a big event of our Axon elevated light fixture range. In the booth, there was a big unveiling and everything. There were cake and champagne and stuff. And we actually pushed everything live to the website directly after that presentation. So within 5 minutes after presentation, all the documentation was in place. We could test it as well. So we did pre-testing and make sure everything worked. But within 5 minutes after the presentation, everything was on the websites, and customers could find the information immediately.
So now the time from when an element is created in the SAP system till it gets published to the web, it's really, really slow. We have instantaneous integration with 2 subsystems, and then the integration to the web also instantaneous. So it's a great change compared to a few years back when we had manual files floating all over the place. Now everything is one central place. We know who owns it, we know who has edit rights, we control who has view rights, and we feel that governance is finally in place.
Yep.
So we are on a much, plus we have single sign-on, and we are in control.
Yeah. And also, that's actually good that you brought that up with the SAP integration, because we built a very solid SAP integration together with Knowit. So all the materials, all the SKUs from the ERP systems is coming into the system.
And how many?
And we have a lot of them. In total, in both the ERP system, there are 158,000 SKUs. Not all of them are sellables. I think we're somewhere between 70,000 and 90,000 SKUs in the system today. So we've heard a lot of presentations here at the Pinpoint Europe today, and people were proud of the numbers, and it was like 15,000 and these numbers, and we was like, yep, we have way more than that at the moment. It's also because of the complexity, because when we sell products to our customers, there are so many variations. It's like selling a car, because you can change the color of the light fixture, the performance of it, and added functionality and all of this stuff. So the Axon Elevated that we just launched and pushed to the website that I mentioned earlier, it generates 21,000 codes in the system, just that product family. So it's a lot of codes, because we need to have all the variations in there as well.